Hello and welcome everyone to Scott County High School. I'm Lanny Brannick along with Cal Oaks. You're watching Scott County Cardinals High School basketball on the Georgetown News Graphic. Cal, big game of the night. The
big game of the night. Big game of the night in Kentucky. Big game of the night for the season, for the regular season for Scott County. Been a lot of big ones up to this point. This one is for all the marbles in the 42nd District. The regular season title, top seed, basically on the line. If Scott County wins, they clinch. If Henry Clay wins, it would be a split for the season, and it would go to a coin flip for that top seed. And you really don't want to be in that situation if you're either team. So certainly imperative for Scott County to get this one. 10 in a row coming in. A lot of streaks on the line. 60 consecutive regular season wins over Kentucky opponents.
Unbelievable.
42 consecutive wins in this building. 24 consecutive district wins, and they've won 10 in a row since coming back from the Beach Ball Classic. So all that on the table against a team that gave them all kinds of trouble the first time around. January 4th in Lexington, Henry Clay had a 15-point lead in the second quarter of that game. Scott County had to fight back and win it by 8. So
we've had a month of games without Michael Marino, who was a Mr. Basketball candidate and is Scott County's best player. Even on one leg, I think he's probably still the best player. So what have we seen in the last month that says this team still has a chance to do something special?
Well, they haven't lost, for one thing. That helps. Since they came back from South Carolina. They've shown a lot of guts and a lot of heart coming back 6 times in those 10 wins. That's kind of the both sides of the coin. You like the fact that they came back and won those games. You don't like the fact that, all things being equal with Michael on the floor, they probably wouldn't be in that situation.
Right.
You can only get away with that so many times, especially against good competition. Still number 1 ranked, still a lot of it based on reputation, ranked 12th in the country by Max Preps.
Right.
Depending on how the draw goes, I think most people would tell you they're still the favorite in the district, still the favorite in the region, whether he plays or not. We already had the draw this week for the state tournament. Depending on how things shake out, they've got a chance to make a run there. There's nothing that says they can't do it. They've got Billy Hicks on that bench,
right.
Which certainly helps. If they can get him back 70 to 80%, I think Michael Marino being out there makes such a mental difference.
Yeah,
even if
sure.
It doesn't make a physical difference. And I still think all the things that were in play in November are in play for this team in March. But obviously tonight's a big night.
So we're looking at a Henry Clay team that comes in here 20-4. I think they have 1 loss in the district, and they're the second best team in the district, but they're also the second best team in the region.
Yeah.
So this is a regional finals preview. Should it shake out like we think it might?
Absolutely. District final preview, region final preview. This team has not lost since that January 4th game. They've beaten Trinity. They've won in overtime at Madison Central. Their performance has been eerily similar to Scott County, even in terms of final scores of those games. So a lot to indicate, a lot of reasons if you're Henry Clay. I think both schools can spin that first game the way they want to.
Right.
Scott County can say, hey, we battled back and won a tough game on the road, played about as badly as we can play and still found a way to win. Henry Clay can say, look, we dominated 18 to 24 minutes of that game, prove that we deserve to be out there with a team that's being touted as one of the best in the nation.
Right.
And we've held our own, held serve against all the teams they've beaten since then. We've played the exact same schedule basically and had the exact same level of performance. So I think if you're Henry Clay, you can look at it that way.
This is a Henry Clay team that's used to doing well in the district. Won it 3 times, 14, 15, 16. Scott County got it the last 2.
Yeah, and that's the last district loss. That 16 championship game was the last time that Scott County lost to a district opponent. Their big 3 is as good as what Scott County puts out there. Marcus Warwick, 1,000-point scorer. Keyston Brown, the consummate point guard. He really makes that offense go. And then Harris Hawkins in the middle. He was the big problem the first time. Without Marino, the starting lineup that Scott County rolled out in that game couldn't handle him in the middle. Now Taryn Hamilton came off the bench and did some good things. You'll see Hamilton start tonight as he has since the Toyota Classic, and I think that's made a difference for the Cardinals. But Hawkins was certainly the man that made that offense go the first time around.
Well, I think we've said before this year Hamilton is Marino light in a lot of different ways. He's just not that level of player yet. but he at least provides some size.
And Jalen Barber does the same. He comes off the bench, and he's not as well developed offensively, but he can alter shots. He can rebound. Sometimes he has a hard time getting his hand on the rebounds, but he can rebound. The other key tonight, they've got to come out to a faster start. I mean, you can't get behind. We said you can't count on doing that every game. Got way double-digit deficit the first Henry Clay game. Trailed Bryant Station for much of the night on the road last Friday night. Cannot do that. I think the week of practice that they've had a week without a game. That will serve Scott County well. Being in this building will serve Scott County well, where there's a comfort zone with that 42-game win streak. A lot of things point to Scott County, but they've got to find a way to get out to a faster start.
Well, it'll be an interesting game. I think this will be an indicator game, or we'd like to think it's going to be an indicator game.
I think both teams look at it as that. I think Henry Clay looks at it as, regardless of who gets that top seed in the region, they want to make a statement that, hey, it's 1A and 1B. It's not Scott County and everybody else.
Right.
We are in that mix. You've seen them move up the rankings ever since when they played Scott County the first time. They were under the radar. They weren't ranked in anybody's top 25, never mind top 10. That game kind of vaulted them into the statewide conversation. And those wins over Trinity and Madison Central have put them right in the top 5, top 10, depending on where you look. 5th in the Cantrell ratings, 10th in the AP, 9th in Max Preps. They're in that conversation with the top 10 in Kentucky now. You're not going to leave them out. You're not going to disrespect them. I think the issue is if their top 3 get into foul trouble, where do they go? Their bench is not very strong. Their overall starting 5, I don't think, is as strong 1 through 5 as it was last year. So I think Scott County can do some damage there. I think we might have seen that the first time they played. The depth off the bench with guys like Fluker, guys like Hamilton, who's a starter now, but that puts Fluker on the bench. Barber, I think they can do some damage, Kent Scott County 1 through 8, maybe even 9, and make it a little tough on Henry Clay.
Yeah, the Scott County starters are going to be Diablo Stewart, 15.2 points per game. Glenn Covington is in the starting lineup.
He is, and Evers, he was still rounding into shape that first time too. A lot of things were working against Scott County that first game. One of which was Covington had only been playing basketball for 2 or 3 weeks at that point after football season.
I've seen him play games where he's the best player on the floor by a certain stretch. He is not the most polished shooter as far. Well, I mean,
no,
40%
he isn't.
from 3.
He's a streaky shooter, and what Billy
that's
wants
what I want to say.
And what Billy wants him to do is drive more. When he drives to the basket with authority, as he did at the end of the Woodford County game, as he did at the end of the Bryant Station game, he's unstoppable. So, yeah.
So we have about a minute until we tip it off here. We'll have a national anthem as we normally do here in just a minute. I don't know if you can see on your screen, but there's a guy on a cart in the bottom left-hand side. That is Scott County's Michael Marino. He has been on that cart for a number of weeks now. You have heard maybe 3 weeks.
He told me a week ago 3 weeks, so that's down to 2 weeks. I know it never looks good when a guy's on a cart and when he's in a walking boot, but both those things are designed to speed up the healing process, minimize him being on it at all. I've seen him in practice standing up using some sort of like padded device to try to strengthen the rest of the legs so that when he does come back, he is ready to roll. And I think it's just a matter of easing him into it when that time comes. I know the first thing is do some light running and see how it responds. But the hope is that he'll be ready. The boys' state tournament, the Sweet 16, is early this year. It's that like first to second full week of March. So you're talking about another month. And February's a short month.
Yeah.
So 30 days have, 30 days has September and all that stuff. So he's got about 30 days to get healthy.
All right, we're about to have the national anthem. We'll take a short break and come right back. Excellent job. Excellent job, and we are moments away from the starting lineups. Starting lineups here for
Scott Hersey being introduced as the first starter for Henry Clay. Of course, we mentioned Marcus Warwick, the 1,000-point scorer, averaging 21.9 a game. The point guard is Keaston Brown. Warwick's a junior, Brown's a senior. Marquise Mackey, he's a junior, averaging 6.5 points per game. And Harris Hawkins, the senior, he's the big man in the middle, 13.8 points, 9 rebounds per game. Just about everybody in the lineup capable of sticking the three for Henry Clay, so that's a threat you got to watch for as well.
And they're not a strong They're not a strong three-point team, but they're
they're serviceable. I think you could say they certainly get it done. They don't have that one guy like Diablo Stewart that you go, oh my gosh, we got to stop him. But everybody can. And for the Scott County Cardinals, Diablo Stewart, Glenn Covington, Taryn Hamilton, Bryce Long, and Lorenzo Williams. And of course, they are all seniors. And that's been the strength of this team. I mean, not a lot of teams could handle the loss of Michael Marino the way Scott County has done it. But that experience, most of those guys have either started or played a significant role since their freshman year.
all right. We're just about to tip it off. Local media here. Nice to see that.
We got a pretty well-packed house here at Scott County High School
this
tonight.
is a good crowd tonight. No complaints.
No, we gotta like the representation. I mean, obviously a good delegation from Henry Clay as well. They and why not? Their team is as good as it's been in the time I've been here in the district and in the region. That's for sure. 20-4 coming into this one tonight. Taryn Hamilton set to tip it with Marquise Mackey.
Here we go, folks.
Mackey gets it to Brown, and Henry Clay will control. Brown over to Hersey. Hersey guarded by Diablo Stewart up top. Stewart all over him, forces the steal by Covington. Easy layup for two.
Right-hand layup there.
And that's what we said about a fast start. And Stewart was all over Hersey. Didn't see a lot of Hersey the first time they played this year. That's interesting that he's the man bringing the ball up and keeping it in the backcourt. Keaston Brown kind of moving out of that role, and Hamilton gets a piece of it that time. But Mackey recovers. Mackey up top, guarded by Long, gets it over to Marcus Warwick. Leading scorer, almost 22 a game for the Blue Devils. He finds Hersey alone in the corner. Hersey gets it back to Warwick up top for the open three. And nothing but net. Henry Clay up 3-2. So Henry Clay getting the shot they wanted in the half-court offense. And now Stewart brings the ball up for Scott County, gets it over to Lorenzo Williams.
Blue Devils in a man-to-man.
Hamilton to Stewart, guarded by Hersey. Gotta think he's probably in there a little bit for his defense. Not a big scoring threat is Hersey.
Cardinals running a motion flex to try to get layups, essentially.
That's basically what they've done since Marino went out of the lineup. Hamilton sticks the three. You're going to give Taryn that shot. He's not known for it, but he can hit it. And it's 5-3 Scott County. Hawkins finds Hersey, who gets it to Warwick, guarded by Covington. Baseline drive, kicks it out to Brown, finds Marquise Mackey in and out. Rebounded by Taryn Hamilton, who finds Covington.
And that's why Hamilton's in there.
Covington spots up from 3, too strong. Hamilton finds the rebound, though. That 6'5" frame. And that's what they didn't have in the starting lineup the first time against Henry Clay, did the Cardinals. Now Stewart will reset. Guarded by Hersey. They don't want Stewart to be able to spot up and hit any threes. That's why Hersey's out there. Get the ball into Hamilton. No good off the front of the rim. Rebound to Hawkins. Hersey will bring it up quickly. He'll find Warwick. Warwick walks but splits the defense for 2. And it's 5 up. 5:35 to play. Quickly down quarter, the Cardinals to Covington. Up and in. Off the glass. He's got 4. 7-5 Cards. Steal by Hamilton.
Good chance to slow it down here and get another
Stewart
bucket.
will reset to Long for 3. Yes. 10-5 Scott County as Covington claps the hands, does everything but slap the floor here. Little contact between Covington and Warwick, no call.
Long is only 28% from 3, so not his best shot.
That left corner 3 is his best shot, but I don't see him spot up a lot from there.
Looked pretty good there, though.
Hawkins double teamed. They'll get it to Hersey, and as we said, probably more of a defensive specialist. That one's short. If it got rim, it was the front of the rim. Stewart baseline drive, and they'll call the foul on the floor. Didn't know if maybe they're going to give him for a walk, but the extended whistle tells me it was on Henry Clay.
I didn't see much of a foul there, but I also thought he walked, so, you know.
They called it on Hersey, and he'll sit down. Raymond Jackson into the game. The thorn in the side of the football team this year for sure when they played Henry Clay. Stewart misses the 3. Long had his hands on the rebound, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Devils and will stay with White. 4:39 remaining first period. 10-5 your score. Scott County on top.
Scott County in that half-court trap, which has been deadly.
It just makes hay. It creates layups is what it does. They get their offense from their defense.
They get more of the ball, and they get more buckets.
Covington will lob the ball into Stewart into the backcourt and give Diablo a chance to reset. They're going to put different people on Stewart to try to shake him up a little bit, I think. Bryce Long, guarded by Jackson. He'll find Hamilton up top. Hawkins giving him a little space. Not as much space as he had a moment ago.
Yeah, they're not in sync here. They're not doing the motion, and they're not running their play. And here we go.
Scott County content to take its time here. Covington will fire the 3, though. No. If he gets hot, that's what happened at Bryan Station. He hit 3 or 4 in a row. 13-5 is exactly what Scott County, what the doctor ordered for Scott County. Keyston Brown wanted to shoot and then thought about pass at the last second. Gets it stolen away by Hamilton.
That's not a typical play for a coach's
Diablo Stewart. Almost. Just off the rim, no good. Rebound comes down. And that's what Henry Clay needed to snap out of it. Basket by Mayan White as Warwick got the rebound and got the offense going quickly.
It's tough to get Stewart to slow down, and that was not a shot that I think
Coach
Hicks wants to see him take.
I think he thought if that goes down, it raises the roof, and they're up by double digits early, and just you got to stick with what's been working for you. And the hustle play by Keyston Brown to get the steal, blocked by Long. It will stay with Henry Clay as White, the victim of the block from the backside.
Long is not super tall, but that was good timing.
He's athletic, deceptively so. He does a lot of the little things well. Warwick in and out from 3. Covington, no call, and he'll get the benefit of the dead ball rebound.
He had all ball, I will say that.
Henry Clay's student section doesn't like it. Daniel Brown doesn't like it, but the call stands, and Diablo Stewart will set the offense for Scott County, guarded by Raymond Jackson. Long to Covington.
Serious contrast in styles between the coaches.
Covington for 3 again. He's got 10 in the first quarter. And it's a 16-7 lead. Definitely a contrast, although they both like to stomp around a little bit.
Yeah.
That's White for 3. He answers 16-10.
You can't give White that shot.
No, he's He's capable, 8 points a game, and he's hit 38 threes. He leads the team in that category.
He's 39% from three. That's nothing shabby, especially at the high school level.
They'll call the foul there on White. That'll be his first and the team's third. Nothing called on Scott County yet.
2:44 to go here in the first quarter, 16-10.
They'll force
Cardinals
the turnover
ahead.
as Covington kicks the ball out of bounds with a little help from Marcus Warwick.
We have a sub who's in.
Long will sit down, and Cam Fluker will check into the game for the first time, number one.
Fluker 7 points,
Yellow
48%
sneakers.
from the field and 40% from three.
Yellow sneakers to match the Henry Clay shirts tonight. Mayan White, Fluker will get on him. I think that was the impetus for the substitution. Maybe get a little better athletic matchup on White, and they'll turn it over.
Brown's not a fan of that call.
No, I thought maybe he thought Scott County touched it last or forced it out of bounds, but it will go to the Cardinals, and Diablo Stewart will set the offense with Jackson on him. Fluker fighting to get open, as is Williams.
Williams is open, or was. That's
Brown on Williams.
Williams maybe the
They'll
most
try to split the
athletic.
defense, and
That's
they'll
gonna
get
be
called
out
for
of
the
control.
charge, and then the feet will get tangled up, and a little extracurricular activity.
That's the one thing we can say about Williams is he's all or nothing. He's 100%.
Sometimes out of control, but
A little bit.
more often than not, you'll get away with, and the player's still down from Henry Clay.
He hit his head. I mean,
Yeah.
Diablo it wasn't intentional at all. He was just following
Mine
through.
White? I believe it's White. No, it's not White. He's dead. It's Jackson. Tough guy, as we mentioned, football star for the Blue Devils.
Maybe a leg injury where he's
I think you were on the right track when you
With
said
the
he hit
hit-
his head a little bit.
that's what it sounded
Not
like.
wearing a helmet in this in this environment. Whew. And that was
Quick break in the action there.
he and Brown both took the brunt of that hit.
So a good night for Scott County as far as fouls. They usually have about 5 by now.
Yeah, that was the first one. Nothing called defensively yet. We'll jinx it. You watch. They'll call something handsy here in the
something.
backcourt. Covington on Warwick. Warwick gets it over to Mayan White. He'll fire from three again. Back of the rim, no good. Rebound Hawkins. He'll get it over to Keyston Brown. Quick first step to the hoop, and he'll draw the contact and get to the line. And indeed, they call that second foul.
If you ever got to see Daniel Brown play in high school, his dad or his son looks a lot like him as far
Keyston
as
channels it stylistically.
style.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very similar.
And they look a lot alike, facially, size-wise. Keyston might have a couple more inches in height.
Not the super talent athletically, but
He's not the shooter that
the toughest
Dan
player.
was.
Yeah, his dad was a phenomenal player.
That's the first point of the night for Keyston. He can get the line and stack up the points there for sure, and don't count him out. 28-3 is 12.4 points per game. He's capable of running the point, but against the Scott County trap, you're not seeing as much of that tonight. I think it gave him problems the first time around.
It
Turned
gives
over quite a
everyone
bit.
problems.
Yeah, I mean, the best player on the other team turns it over 7 or 8 times. It's inevitable. The best ball handler on the other team, I should say. Covington finds Stewart. You don't want to give Stewart that much space if you're White. He'll get the ball into Hamilton. Hamilton with a new guy on him, Eli Wren, in the game for the first time for Henry Clay. Scott County taking his time.
Gonna
Covington's
reset here.
signaling top to top. And they'll get called for the illegal screen on Glenn Covington, his first, team's third. Jackson, he's fine. He'll check back in. Wren will sit down. They want to run him through all the what town are you in and how many fingers am I holding up.
The Cardinals like their emphatic shoe colors, yellow and pink.
Individuality stressed, as we've said all season. No
Love it.
two pairs alike.
No.
Well, maybe Covington and Hamilton. Bad shot there, and Harris
probably
gets the rebound. Kobe Harris in the game for the first time. He brought a lot of energy the first time they played Henry Clay this year, as did Fluker. Fluker shoots that one off the back of the rim. The rebound comes down to White. So it's been a little bit of an offensive lull. Henry Clay has cut it to 4. Brown with a nice driving dish to Hawkins, and they'll cut it to 2 just like that. Henry Clay on a good run here. I believe 9-2.
The trap is not nearly as effective. Covington.
And you just can't fire up threes. You got to stay patient.
The offense,
stagnant
the movement is
right
not
now.
there. Yeah, they're not running their
Marcus
set.
Warwick, they've done a fairly good job on him. He's got 5 in the quarter. Got the ball knocked away, but he and Hawkins reset it. 12 seconds and counting. They'll try to tie or go ahead here with the final possession, will Henry Clay. Keyston Brown, guarded by Harris, gets the ball over to, they get it to White in the corner for 3 long. Hamilton fought for the rebound, nothing there. Air ball on the second attempt. Billy Hicks not really happy with something there, but Scott County ends the first quarter with a 16-14 lead.
All right, we will take a break for just a moment. Come back and tell you about our sponsor in just a moment. You're watching Cardinals High School basketball on the Georgetown News Graphic.
The way the community supports basketball in Scott County is really just unbelievable.
But Scott County is good as Corbin. When I came here, no. But, you know, the potential for basketball was off the charts here.
We want to tell you about our sponsor. It's McFarland Outdoor, Moses Inc. If you need anything small engine, lawnmower, riding mower, chainsaw,
complete outdoor power
anything
equipment solutions.
Go to Moses.
502-868-0761 is their number. You can find them at 511 North Broadway in G-Town. Also want to mention to you, of course, you're watching this game through news-graphic.com. We publish 3 times a week, and we are very excited to announce the premiere of Leader of the Pack, the Billy Hicks Life and Times documentary. It will debut at 6 p.m. here at Scott County High School on Wednesday, February 13th in the Susan Moore Auditorium. But you can also order copies of the DVD by calling our office at 502-863-1111. Scott County with a nice set play, bounce pass from Covington to Long. I always say the sign of a good team is out of a timeout or a break in the action, they'll find ways to score off those set plays. Brown misses Long with a rebound. Fluker bringing it down quickly. He'll slash to the hoop, get it blocked by Warwick, but Henry Clay throws it away. Covington right there for the steal and the layup. And just like that, it's a 6-point lead once again for the Cardinals.
Here comes the pressure at the half court.
Harris and Barber in the game. They need his size to get some rebounds and alter some shots. Fluker with the quick hands as Warwick tried to get the ball to Brown, but it will stay with Henry Clay.
Gotta love the hustle there.
Mackey checking back in for White.
A little floor burn there for Fluker.
He's Mr. Floorburn. He's like the boys' answer to Braley McMath on the girls' team, I would say. Both not ashamed or afraid to get down on the floor. Henry Clay resetting with Raymond Jackson. Brown takes his man, which was Harris, to the hoop. Fluker tried to come in and help, but they'll call the foul on Harris.
Coach Hicks was pretty upset about that one.
One thing Harris does is rack up the fouls pretty quickly when he gets in the game, but he brings plus energy. No question about that. He had double-digit points first time they came back and beat Henry Clay.
Want to thank everybody that's tuned in on YouTube and watch us. We have 70-some folks watching. Hello, everyone.
And I'm sure some of you are from Henry Clay. Glad you could join us as well. Lots of respect for the season your Blue Devils are having.
Very much so, very much so.
Keyston Brown, as if on cue, hits the 3, cuts the lead in half. Consummate coach's son. You always know what you're going to get out of a coach's son. Going to be a hard-nosed competitor, going to be fundamentally sound, not going to do the dumb things to cost you. Covington for 3. Man, I tell you what, 15 points for Glenn Covington, and when he's feeling it, he's feeling it. Warwick will try to take it to the hoop. He'll draw the contact from Covington. I believe that's 2 on Glenn. Got to watch that.
The Cardinals have to find somebody else that can score tonight, though, because Covington may get 45, and that's fine. But I mean, that's not a recipe for victory.
It's obvious that Henry Clay does not want Diablo Stewart to beat them, so they're content to let Covington do it. Now Diablo's going to check in for Covington because of the 2 fouls as Warwick hits the first free throw.
Yeah, Scott County has 23 points. Covington has 15.
Hamilton has 3 and Long has the other 5 right now. You know, it's been balanced. That's been the trademark and hallmark since Marino went out of the lineup. You've got 4 guys other than him averaging in double digits as Warwick missed the second one. And Scott County came away with a rebound. Now Fluker gets it to Harris, who shuffles it over to Long. Stewart up top, guarded by White. He'll take it to the basket and kick it to Fluker for 3. Cam Fluker, as good a spot-up shooter from behind the arc as the Cardinals have, and it's an 8-point lead, and also as good a defender as the Cardinals have. Gets the steal and draws the contact on the way down from White.
That was an odd call. I just have to say,
Hip check there.
He ran right into it.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of drew it. He kind of drew it, but the rule book says White was still moving, so I guess.
Yeah, I've never seen a charge call from a guy getting hit in the back. So,
I think as a basketball fan, I'd like a no call there. I don't think anybody really gained anything from it or lost anything by it.
I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna be accusing us of being terrible homers or anything. We're not. We'll call it like we see it. Still saying we have a team that we root for here.
Fluker took that shot. Barber went for the rebound. Harris got called for the foul, and that's his second. 5:37 to play in the half. 26-18. Scott County leads.
We were talking about the foul situation. Scott County got 5 fouls in 5 minutes.
What was that you were saying about they hadn't had one called yet? Now it's 6-4, just like that. I think it's
an aggressive team.
6 out of 7. Yeah, I mean, that's par for the course. But one thing Scott County did against Henry Clay the first time was reverse that trend in the second half and get to the line. Scott County with a steal. Looked like Harris may have shuffled the feet. Long got it over to Stewart for an open 3, but he missed Long. And who's it on? It's on Scott County once again in the rebounding action. That'll be a 1-on-1.
I like the pass from Long.
And it's on Kobe Harris, and that'll be his 3rd. Love Kobe's style of play. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of a reining in.
He's one of those kids, though, that would start on most other teams.
Oh, 100%. He probably could start on this team. Coach Hicks made the decision to go with Taryn Hamilton the past couple of weeks just because a little more height, a little more polish, I think.
And Hamilton can step outside and shoot the 3.
Oh,
I mean, it's
sure.
it's a weapon you don't see.
He's a well-rounded big man as Jackson hits both. They got it to 26-20. Scott County's led it all the way, but Henry Clay hanging in. And that's got to scare you if you're a Scott County fan. That's been the trend lately. Scott County has either had to come from behind or they've had tenuous leads.
Well, this looks like an actual fight or an evenly matched boxing bout.
And Warwick goes down. You got to call something there, and they don't. Long gets it to Hamilton, who draws the contact. Fluker had the open 3 before that. It's a shot that he usually hits. He hit it a little strong, but Scott County got it back. Now, Warwick went down, either slipped or got knocked down, and no call. Hamilton, one of the better free throw shooters in this team. I didn't jinx him by saying that before he missed. I saved it for after.
Easy, Cal, easy. I said no fouls, and then we're
just cruising right along. Hamilton hits the second, 27-20. That's 4 points for Taryn.
4 minutes and 35 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
Pace of this game a little more controlled than I thought it might be, although still pretty good scoring for 4:30 to go in the half, 27-20. A lot of threes being hit on both sides. Is Brown going to get a timeout? I think he wants a full timeout to talk this over.
Something I've seen that, both teams have to play with it, but the floor is not in great condition tonight. For whatever reason, there's a lot of
temperature change.
I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of slipping and sliding.
Got to bring the Zamboni out here.
And when you can't trust your cuts, it hurts the athletic team. So 27-20, 4:24 to go here in the first half. Cardinals have led it all the way. It's the Glenn Covington show, 15 points.
15 points, but he's on the bench with 2 fouls right now, so some other guys got to step up. Stewart has been held scoreless, and I'm comfortable saying that is a big part of Henry Clay's game plan. Certainly a big part of Scott County's game plan is to minimize Marcus Warwick. He has 6.
All right, out of the timeout.
And as we said, when you call a timeout like that, a good team might score right away here. Henry Clay and Scott County both been known to do that. Brown obviously saw something to call the timeout in that situation. Keyston drives and kicks, and they find Warwick up top for a deep 3 that's short. Rebound, though, and Warwick gets a second chance, gets it blocked by Long and rebounded by Stewart.
Probably a foul in there.
Hamilton open for 3, but it's off. Tip back out to Stewart for 3. That's off. And out of bounds to Henry Clay. Diablo just not feeling it right now.
No, that was just wasn't even close.
And he had a flu bug about a week ago and actually played well in the spurts that he played in the Douglas and Bryan Station games. Presumably doing better now, but just offensively not in. But he's the kind of guy that could come out in the second half and just score 20 in a hurry.
He's kind of shaking his head after that shot. So
I think he knows that something's just a little off. Jackson drives on Fluker, kicks it over to Warwick, who somehow gets a little too open. Hamilton left his man, and you just can't do that when that man is Marcus Warwick. He has 9, and it's a 4-point lead. 3:15 and rolling. Second quarter. Stewart again for 3. That's off again. Long tips it. It stays alive, and it will go to Henry Clay. Hawkins checks back into the game as Eli Wren, who's been in a couple of times in short-term duty, will sit down. And it's time for Glenn Covington, even with 2 fouls, to check back into the game with 3 minutes to go.
We often see the Cardinals start to pull away here, either late in the first or late in the second quarter or early in the first or the second half. I can't speak. Tough to do when you're a broadcaster. Here comes the press.
Just stagnant offensively, just forcing things right now, getting away from that top to top that's so effective. And that's a nice crisp jumper, 10 feet from Mr. Mackey. Marquise Mackey, his first 2 points of the game, cuts it to 2. Covington
Nice
trapped
pass
in the corner, but a beautiful pass to Fluker from the right corner to the left baseline, and Fluker gets the lead back to 4.
Henry Clay making the dribble drive work for them.
Gets the ball into Mackey again and draws the contact from Fluker. For a minute there, I was afraid it was Covington. That would have been bad news.
The Blue Devils basically catch and shoot. They penetrate, pitch, and shoot. I mean, that's their offense, or what's been effective at least at this point.
Good shooters. And that's the problem, is that you can't really focus on Warwick exclusively because Keyston Brown can shoot it. Harris Hawkins can shoot it. Mackey misses the free throw, but he can shoot it. White, 38 threes on the season. So, I mean, it's a well-rounded, balanced group. Kind of what Scott County is as well, but I think a little more consistent is Henry Clay in that regard. You know, Scott County's just so streaky.
Yeah, they've got to find some offense, some basic half-court offense, because they're not getting the fast break points they normally get. So,
key to that half-court offense is Stewart and Covington have to be patient. I know Covington's been on fire, and I know Stewart has the tendency to catch fire, but they got to be the ones to show discipline.
They're at least running the motion that they're get their shots out of right now.
No hurry, under 2 minutes. Covington spots up for 3. What was I saying? I just shoot if you feel like it, Glenn. I don't care. 18 on the night. Scott County leads by 6. He had 21 against Bryan Station, most of it coming late. And do not get that third foul. And that was a foul on the breakaway. They won't get the intentional, but it could have been. by definition, as Hamilton takes advantage of Warwick losing the ball with Covington on him to get the steal.
Quite a scrum there.
Only the 16th foul, so it
Yeah.
won't be a shooting situation.
No fouls to give at this point, though.
Nope. Bonus on the next one. 1:32 to play. 32-26, Scott County leads. Covington will inbound the ball to Stewart. Nope. It'll be to Hamilton. Now they'll get it to Stewart. Stewart was looking for it in the back court. Covington finds it again from 25. Give it to the man. 9-point lead for the Cardinals. Covington responsible for it and then some. Warwick for a deep three in response that's long. Hawkins with a hard-fought rebound, short.
Blocked.
Partially blocked. Was it by Hamilton, I believe? No, Covington might have gotten the piece because he gets the 5 on the bench from Lorenzo Williams. Another guy I hadn't thought much about that didn't get much done here in the first half. We're going to look for a big second half from him is Williams.
Diablo with the foul there.
That's only 1 on him. That's more than his point total at this point. If you told me that Stewart and Williams would get shut out and Scott County would still be up 8 with a minute to go in the first half, I'd have said you're a little bit insane. But then again, when Covington does what he's done, all bets are off. Harris Hawkins made the first, misses the second after some long moments on the rim. Covington comes down with a rebound, and the last minute to play the period.
Chance to get a double
Covington for
digit.
3! I don't believe what I'm seeing.
They might want to pick him up.
They are. That's the problem.
Pick him up closer to the hoop than that, or further from the hoop than that.
That's 6 threes on the night for Mr. Glenn Covington, who has 24 points and is 38-27. And this place is rocking. The fans are into it, and it's always like a kind of conservative, laid-back crowd here at Scott County because they've seen it all. It takes a lot to get them excited, but Glenn Covington's doing it. Tear the roof off the sucker. Want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Moses Incorporated, once again at 511 North Broadway in Georgetown, 502-868-0761. Complete outdoor power, small engine solutions. Keyston Brown, offensive foul drawn by Diablo Stewart. And now Henry Clay is getting a little bit desperate. They're down double digits and just don't want to go in at the half with Scott County on a run like this. But I think now if you're the Cardinals, you can kind of prepare and take that last shot. But with Covington having the ball in his hands, I'm not going to say anything. Raymond Jackson trying to defend him. They'll get it over. The problem is if you leave Long or Stewart open, you could pay the price as well.
Well, now they've picked him up from 24 feet.
Oh, yeah, you've got to pick him up when he comes across the Cardinal logo. Because, and the fans are into it.
That's the nice thing I like about
They know it.
That's the thing I like about Hicks. If he's got a hot hand, he's like,
Oh, yeah.
Go, man,
He is
go.
not afraid to play it. He wants Glenn Covington to drive to the basket, but a night like tonight, how do you tell him that? And more contact drawn on Jackson.
that's his second foul, and that's the 8th.
I think
team
Glenn
foul.
Covington's enjoying the redemption from the fall season against Mr. Jackson because it was not a banner night for Glenn, certainly, and it was for Raymond, but Glenn's getting even tonight. 25 points with that free throw. 39-27.
Biggest lead of the game.
And then everything, I wouldn't say everything has gone according to plan for Scott County.
No.
When 2 of your starters have been shut out, another one has only 5, but one guy has given you a piggyback ride for sure.
You know when you get to watch a special something happening, and it's not often. This is one of those
The
nights.
dude is a Division I athlete in 2 sports as far as I'm concerned. He's going to play NAIA football, that's fine, as long as the steal and the layup to end the half. 42-27, Scott County. And Cam Fluker going nuts as he runs off the floor. And you said it, special.
It's a special night. I mean, that's a special performance.
Glenn
right
Covington, 25 points, 26 points and a half. I don't remember the last time I saw that for Scott. I think I saw Marino get 30 and a half, but it was the second half of the game.
So we're going to go try and get some stats here and take a quick break. And we'll be right back with more Cardinals High School basketball on news-graphic.com. That's news-graphic.com. We'll be right back in just a moment.
The way the community supports basketball in Scott County is really just unbelievable.
But Scott County as good as Corbin when I came here, no. But, you know, the potential for basketball was off the charts here.
And we want to mention right now our sponsor, McFarland Outdoor. It's Moses, Inc. Small engine service and sales. If you need anything done to your lawnmower, your riding mower, chainsaw, anything with a small engine, Moses, Inc. It's on 511. It's at 511 North Broadway in Georgetown. 502-868-0761. Again, 502-868-0761. Or go to www.moses.com. Moses.com for all of your outdoor small engine sales and service.
Our stat delivery service is not coming through for us. I guess I'm going to have to go down and take one for the team here after I get the scoring update posted.
Cal doing one of his 9 jobs.
I can give you the points before I do that. You could probably guess who the leading scorer is for Scott County. I'll give you 3 guesses.
It starts with G and ends with N and has Lynn in the middle.
Yeah, and has the same last name as a former principal. Glenn Covington, 26 points. Bryce Long, 7. Cam Fluker, 5. Taryn Hamilton, 5. Doesn't take long to give you the Scott County scoring.
I don't think Bryce has missed. Long has not missed either.
Okay, if back in October I had told you Michael Marino, Diablo Stewart, and Lorenzo Williams would not score a point in the first half of a game against Henry Clay, you'd probably think Scott County was in some ankle-deep mud. But they're up by 15. They've held Warwick to 9, White 5, Brown 5, Mackey 3, Hawkins 3, and Jackson 2 for the Blue Devils.
All right, folks. Cal is going to run and get some stats. He will be back in just a moment. And we'll fill in for just a moment here. Oh, now we have them delivered. The stats have been delivered, so we'll have those in just a moment. All right, Cal is back with us. Stats at hand.
My goodness. Shooting percentages, 53.6% for Scott County, 40% for Henry Clay. Turnovers is a big stat tonight. 12 for the Devils, 4 for the Cardinals. And that's been the story. Rebounds, pretty much a stalemate. Henry Clay with a 15-12 advantage. But Hawkins didn't really go off the way that he did the first time. A lot of dead ball rebounds there. In fact, nobody has more than 2 legitimate ones.
I mean, the shooting percentage is pretty good, so you're not going to have a ton of rebounds.
No, you're not. Both sides have shot the ball pretty well. Threes, 9 for 18. Covington, 6 for 8. That'll get it done. Henry Clay, 4 for 12, but Warwick only 2 for 5. So
yeah, when you're The other issue, we've been talking about how well Scott County has played. Marquise Warwick averages 22 points a game and shoots 40% from three.
Yeah.
He's not doing that in the
and
first
you've held
half.
him to 9. He's gotten open a couple of times. He shouldn't have, and he buried those. But really doing a good job denying him the ball. They're having to do special things.
Yeah.
Brown had to call a timeout and design a play to get him open for a 3. So that kind of tells you where they're at. Henry Clay made a little run there, early second quarter, late first quarter, early second quarter to get it within 2. But Scott County's led it all the way and really stretched it out with a bunch of 3s by Glenn Covington.
Well, I mean, Covington trails the Blue Devils by 1. I mean, that's the story of this game.
I mean, it's the darndest thing. I mean, I've seen Glenn do things like this, but not for that extended period of time, not for a whole half. And he's done it late in games. He single-handedly won the Madison Central and Bryant Station games, really, with that sort of heroics. But to do this tonight, I think I'm so happy for him because he's
a good kid.
I don't think anybody knows how good a basketball player he is. Everybody, Billy has said to me, this is the Glenn we saw in middle school. He would score 30. Everybody when I got here said Glenn Covington in middle school was a legend.
Yeah.
And football kind of took first place. And it kind of shortened his basketball season and it shortened his off season. But this year he's really kind of, at least for these 3 or 4 months here, been able to concentrate on it ever since he got back. And it shows. It's his full concentration. And he's going to end up a 1,000-point scorer.
Yeah.
And to do that.
And be one of the best football players to come out of here in a while.
Yeah, I mean.
To be a Division I athlete, two different sports.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to Campbellsville, and he's going to be special there, wherever they put him on the football field. And probably certainly could play basketball there, too, if he wanted to. I'm sure he won't. Probably focus on one. But special night for him. I think you can't get complacent if you're Scott County. 15-point lead, Henry Clay can wipe that out.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott County proved that they could wipe it out against Henry Clay.
For
so
sure.
certainly mirrors that. But you know Stewart's going to get some points here. I just don't think you can stop him for 32 minutes. Lorenzo Williams, they got to get something out of him. They got to get him under control as far as driving to the basket, find some open lanes, create some open lanes for him.
Well, you have to think that Coach Hicks has gone in the locker room and said, Glenn, that's amazing. Diablo, we need something out of you, buddy.
Yeah,
it's just
Billy's not afraid to get in your face, even when he's up by 15, to say, look, you've given me zip so far, so let's change that. And I think you'll see a different game out of those two guys. Great contributions from Cam Fluker in the first half and Taryn Hamilton, both offensive and defensive end.
Right.
Hamilton with a couple of blocks, 5 points, a big 3 there. Fluker with some big steals, Long with a big basket at the end to get it to 15 and kind of.
Long didn't miss. 3 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from 2, 1 of 1 from the 3-point line, 7 points.
Good shot rebounds. Selection by him tonight. Maybe not so much for everyone else, but look, this is the offense that we haven't seen. Again, it's coming from one person, but 42 points and a half. That was standard stuff when everybody was healthy. Without Marino, it's been a struggle, 30, 32. To be able to open it up like this is probably beyond everybody's expectations. I don't think it's beyond Billy's expectations. I think he thought tonight was going to happen. I just saw a certain gleam in his eye this week that with a week of practice, and he even mentioned Covington by name. He said, some guys going to be able to get fully healthy, going to be able to practice, get their shots in order, and good things are going to happen.
So we do want to talk about our upcoming film.
Yes, it'll be premiering on Wednesday, February 13th, 6 p.m. You want to be here. It's free and open to the public at the Susan Moore Auditorium. Scott County High School, leader of the pack, the life and times of Billy Hicks, the only 1,000-game winner in Kentucky high school basketball history. It's a good year to 2 years of work. We've interviewed so many people for this. James Scoggin, my colleague, photographer, videographer, just has done a tremendous job editing and bringing this thing to life. Please come out and support it. Please do order the DVD. DVD copies are available by calling the news graphic at 502-863-1111. I'm sure you'll be able to order them online at some point as well at news-graphic.com. But be here a week from Wednesday. That's the last home game of the year as well for the boys. They play Holy Cross Covington, so you can kind of, it's a double whammy. You can come see the video, see the movie, and then watch what should be a pretty good home game there to wrap up the season.
Let's take a look at that trailer real quick before we get back to halftime.
The way the community supports basketball here in Scott County is really just unbelievable.
But Scott County as good as Corbin when I came here, no. But, you know, the potential for basketball was off the charts here.
So we're excited about that. Coming up, we've got just a few seconds here before we get into the second half. Looking for, you know, I'm kind of, honestly, I'm rooting for Glenn Covington to get 50. That's the truth. It's not because I know Glenn personally, but you don't get to see special performances all that often, and this is a special performance. Even if he doesn't get a single point in the second half, it's a special performance.
Well, and here's the advantage for Scott County, because you know Henry Clay is going to do things to slow him down. He's probably not going to get 50. He may not get 40, but other guys are going to be left open. And eventually, Diablo Stewart, Bryce Long, Lorenzo Williams are going to make some shots here and put this thing away.
42-27 as we start the second half. Henry Clay has the ball. You're watching Georgetown or Scott County High School boys basketball on the Georgetown News Graphic, news-graphic.com.
Warwick gets the ball into Hawkins. Brown covered nicely by Williams in the corner. Hawkins out for the three. White no good. And Williams tears down the rebound and draws the foul from Brown. Good start for Lorenzo Williams. We said we wanted some positive energy from him.
That's an athletic matchup that Mr. Brown will not win.
Williams did not have a shot in the first half. He had 2 quick fouls. He only had 1 rebound.
He's one of those kind of guys, though. He doesn't have to shoot to be effective.
No, he brings energy. And I think you're seeing that out of the gate here, out of the locker room door in the second half. Hamilton over to Covington, who has Jackson on him. Long for 3. Buries it. He has 10 points. Amazingly, that's 2 in double figures, even though one guy has 26. 18-point lead. Another 3-point attempt. This one good for Warwick from that left corner. And that's the answer. Stewart with the pull-up, yes. Finally on the board. And it's 48-30.
Had to think that plan.
It's just, you watch, he'll end up with 20. Warwick for 3, long rebound to Stewart. Stewart pushes it up quickly. He's got Covington on the left side, but he'll take it to the hoop. No good.
Should have passed that one.
Rebound to Hawkins. Warwick to the other end, kicks it to Brown for 3. It's good. And that's a 5-point swing there that didn't need to happen.
Yep, Stewart wanted to get going, but he should have passed to Covington there. He was open. They're guarding Covington at 25
Covington, nice
feet.
lob pass to Williams. Williams gets it swatted away by Warwick. Jackson dives to the floor. So does Hamilton, and he'll get the held ball.
That'll be Cardinals' ball.
Good heads-up play by Hamilton there.
Diablo's coming out.
I kind of feel like this is an important possession after that little swing there, and there's a foul on Brown. Just pushes Williams down and then looks at the ref like, what did I do? And that is his 3rd foul.
I don't think he's coming out.
No, you can't. I mean, I think they're done if he comes out. Yeah. They don't have that kind of depth. Covington for 3. Nope. It's short, and Jackson gets the rebound. The hip check by Fluker, who raises his hand, says, yeah, I probably did that. Jackson's had a rough night.
Yeah, that's the second time he's had to be helped up off the floor.
And Fluker gets him unintentionally on the way by. Dear.
Sometimes you just got to laugh.
Yeah.
At least he didn't have to leave the game this time.
No. Tough guy. Man. I can't tell you what a nightmare he was on the football field. 300-something total yards, touchdowns in every conceivable fashion.
So the referee is at the scorer's table talking about something, and he is, okay.
Trying to sort the possession arrow out, maybe?
I'm not sure. So 48-33, 6:19 to go here in the third quarter.
And there's still an issue as Daniel Brown and the official are having a conversation. That's something you can say quite often. Followed by some vigorous pointing. And the game will resume.
Brown pretty adamant about something. I don't know what it is.
Warwick brings the ball up slowly, gets it over to Mayan White.
Pretty
And
easy
White
layup
gets the
there.
bucket there. A little too easy is right, and they've got it down to 13, which is subtle. But you know they probably said in the locker room, okay, get this in little bites. Get it under 10, mid to late third quarter. And if you're Scott County, you need to prevent that. Fluker with a spot up. Leave him open from 15. He can be deadly with that little left-hand rainbow. Kind of a two-handed set shot almost.
I can't decide if he's right or left-handed.
Yeah, he
Still don't
leans
know.
left, but it's more of a set shot. Jackson with the quick burst, and now the kick to Warwick.
Good pass.
In and out. White with the rebound, no good. Williams comes away with it.
Walked. I'm not sure how. It looked like he was taking off with a football.
He dribbles between his legs. I don't like the spacing on the floor for Scott County right now.
Well, Zoe was just in a big hurry there. as he
Williams'
normally is.
ankles have been bothering him a little bit. And I think that's a makeup call right there.
Yeah, that's not a walk.
I think that official saw the walk over there and decided to flag this one. 50-35 with just over 5 minutes to play, third quarter.
I don't want to fault Zoe for hustle, but sometimes he's just playing too fast.
Yeah, it's and Coach Hicks will tell you that.
Good switch.
Brown with a quick baseline drive and reverse up and under. He has 10 points.
He's a tough guy. He just is.
He's just hard-nosed. Williams off the front of the rim, no good.
Not his
Hawkins
shot.
rebound, no. And shot you didn't need to take, and now there is a chance to get it down to 10 if you can stick a three here for Henry Clay.
You have to give it to Henry Clay. I mean, they are.
Oh, they're not going to go away.
Playing with poise and.
And they're in a tough spot playing in Scott County's building. Contact there, no foul, and White will jar the ball loose.
Wow.
And they're going to get Fluker for a foul, and Cam says, huh?
Well, the initial call was a no call, which I was fine with. They were both going for the ball.
But then a little ticky-tack on the.
Yeah, Cam knows better than to stick his hand in there.
And that's three, and Diablo Stewart will quickly check back into the game.
And Coach Hicks brings him immediately to the sideline, and Zoe comes out as well.
The foul situation here, Coach Hicks is kind of having to rotate guys in and out a lot more. I mean, he would anyway, but.
Well, he plays 8 players for the most part.
So, and most of the guys who are in foul trouble do similar things. That's the good thing about having interchangeable parts.
It is nice. Covington quiet so far, only one shot this half.
And I think you had to expect that. Other guys are going to have to do something here. Warwick with an open three. Again, why? Why and how? And it's down to 10 with under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter, and Billy will get a timeout. 3:57 remain, third quarter. Scott County's lead tenuous at 10.
Folks, we want to tell you about our sponsor, Moses Outdoor.
Moses
Anything
Inc.
Moses Inc., thank you. Anything small engine, sales and service, 511 North Broadway in Georgetown, 502-868-0761, or Moses.com, M-O-S-E-S, and an extra S.com, Moses.com. Anything you need, small engine, riding mower, lawnmower, chainsaw, you can get it serviced there, or they sell new items as well. Moses.com.
McFarland Outdoors Small Engine Sales and Service.
Love that place. $50-40. We're halfway through the third quarter. It was a blowout, and then it wasn't.
And Henry Clay coming back on the shoulders of Marcus Warwick and Keyston Brown. They combined for 11 this quarter, and you had to expect Coach Brown certainly challenged those two guys. Hey, if we have any chance at all, you're going to have to step up.
Hamilton missed a shot that he would make normally.
Rebounding action keeps it going in this direction.
Covington with a nice entry pass, though.
He's known for those. He inbounds the ball better than anyone. He'll find Stewart deep in the corner there. Long, and then Covington gets open for a brief moment, but thinks better of it.
Long yet to miss tonight.
Stewart directing traffic. Warwick on him.
Blue Devils have gone to a zone.
I think Coach Hicks stressing patience during that timeout.
This is a really different look for them. It's a 2-1-2 zone.
Long for three in that left corner that he loves so much. That's his second of the period. He has 13, and that's the lead, 53-40. Quick burst by Jackson, Raymond Jackson, and he'll get two of it back. Long bobbles that one, keeps control, and he'll find Covington. Covington works the ball to the foul line, top of the key, jumper for Hamilton is good.
Now we get a little spurt of scoring for both teams.
A little back and forth, and the lead stays at 13 with Taryn Hamilton's 5th and 6th points of the night. Who are they going to call that on? It's an offensive foul.
Well, Long hit the deck pretty convincingly.
It's like Mayan White. That's White's third. Brown has 3, so both teams having a little bit of foul difficulty.
55-42, 2:45 to go here in the third quarter.
Important to get a good possession here if you're Scott County. No need to hurry this up. Ball's in your court, literally and figuratively, with a 13-point lead, 2:30 left in the third.
Blue Devils back in the zone.
Yeah, especially with the switch up of defenses. Just don't do anything rash. Covington step back 3, why not? I think after you miss a couple of those, you got to remember the first half's over if you're Covington.
The cooler was put on Glenn at halftime.
Keaston Brown for 3. Front rim no good. Hamilton with the easy rebound. Getting down to the 2-minute mark, and again, slow it down. Covington to Stewart. Stewart points Harris over to this corner. He'll get Covington isolated on White. Long in the left corner, works it into Hamilton. Hamilton has that hook that sometimes works for him, but he'll find Covington up top. Covington will reset with 1:45 and rolling. Stewart, patience, patience, patience.
So the Cardinals have decided that they're going to have to come out of this zone.
I was going to say,
they don't have to do anything. They win the game.
All the keyboard warriors that say we need a shot clock in high school basketball, how about we need to play defense in high school basketball? Stop with the zone and just man up. Oh!
I just want to say what a great play by Long, but clearly that was interference.
Just an incredibly athletic play. They'll get the basket.
That's a kid off one leg going up and trapping the ball. But it's the reason that's a goaltend is because it came off the backboard.
Yeah, it was in the cylinder.
Well, headed that way.
Yeah. 55-44, and what are we doing here? Timeout, I guess.
Yeah, timeout.
Did Henry Clay call that timeout, or did Billy call it? Billy probably called it because he wants an extended explanation of what happened there.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
But good for you, Bryce Long. That was a heck of a play.
Billy
is down there throwing his hands around. He can't believe it.
He hasn't thrown the jacket yet. He's mellowed over the years.
I'm not sure what he's upset about. That is,
I think he's upset that again, the offense just hasn't been patient enough here. I think there's no reason to hurry anything against that zone. But Long. I'll say it again. Deceptively athletic. You know, you look at him, he's 6'2", 6'2.5". Doesn't look like he can jump out of the gym.
But he can.
Marino
came out and had some words of wisdom there for the departing Scott County players.
Yeah, he's taken on a good role here. At the Bryan Station game, I saw him kind of coaching Taryn Hamilton a little bit during timeouts, and Hamilton's the guy that's in the lineup for him and has kind of taken him under his wing, and he got a lot out of him right after those conversations every time. And Covington with a strong take to the basket. And that's probably another thing Billy Hicks was saying in the timeout is, Glenn, drive.
Yeah,
if the jump shot's not falling anymore, drive.
Well, Scott County is coming down and playing against a matchup zone, which they do not see. And what happens when that zone collapses? It collapses into a man-to-man. So there's a completely different set of offenses for zone and man-to-man.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing. And one of the reasons Covington had such a great first half is because he doesn't need help.
You know,
he's open from 24 feet or he goes around his man.
And Scott County's beaten Trinity twice in the past 11 months, so they can handle a zone. You know, they can handle a talented, athletic,
it's the change in
discipline
defense
zone.
that's hard.
Yeah, they didn't see that in the first half, and now it's like, whoa. But good possession. Covington gets 2 free throws, makes them both. He has 28, and it's 57-44. Last minute of the third quarter, offensive foul.
Well, we're under a minute here in the third quarter.
It's going to be on Harris Hawkins. That'll be his second for the illegal screen.
Henry Clay had 5 fouls already, so just a couple more to get to the bonus.
And that's probably another point of emphasis with Scott County is they've been able to get to the end of games and clinch them from the foul line. It happened against Woodford County, happened against Bryan Station, happened the first time against Henry Clay, happened against Trinity, happened against Madison Central, fill in the blank. So
Henry Clay back in a man-to-man here.
Yeah, it's only going to work for so long. Once Coach Hicks and his players adjust to it, you got to go with your bread and butter, I think.
It's hard to see it, but Diablo, when he drives, watch his feet, how slick the floor is.
Yeah. I think he's having a little trouble adjusting to that tonight. And Williams stepped out of bounds. Definitely some condensation issues on the floor. Now, I don't know if it's, I said changing the weather. It wasn't all that warm today, so not necessarily that. But and this gym is cold.
Yep.
So.
Final
seconds.
And Malia Owens tell you hello on YouTube.
All right. I told them to tune in to us. I was hoping they would enjoy the broadcast. Oh, buzzer-beating 3 from the right corner by Hawkins. Cuts it to 10 as we go to the fourth.
Well, I think if you told Daniel Brown that he could cut it to 10 going into the fourth quarter, you would take it.
I think we said little bites and 20-15 advantage for Henry Clay that quarter. Get it down to 8 or 10 by the end of with 8 minutes to go, and then see where it lies.
So 57-47 going into the final frame here. Glenn Covington has how many points in the second half? Two.
28 overall. Long has 6, 13 for the game.
Long has not missed yet a shot.
Hawkins with 15 for Henry Clay. Brown with 10. White with 9. So pretty much what you'd expect from them.
It's just not the night that Diablo Stewart wanted to have.
No,
for sure.
He has 3 points. And, but, sometimes the fourth quarter is his quarter, especially if he can get to the line. He can accumulate points in a hurry and put a happy face on it.
Kudos to Henry Clay for the changing defenses. It has thrown the Cardinals for a loop.
It's made a game of it.
We're going to get just a quick look at third quarter stats.
Did the turnovers change? It was 12-4 at the half. It's 13-7 now. So they did manage to force 3 Scott County turnovers, did Henry Clay, and shook them up a little bit. Like we said, 20-15. They had to work for 15 in that quarter. So it felt like
it's a game. Covington 2 points in the second half, 26 in the first.
Diablo Stewart with a strong take in the up and under, but again a rush shot. Hamilton with a strong rebound, kicks it out to Covington. 3-pointer. 31, 60-47 lead. 7 3-pointers. Warwick, tough shot from the baseline, no good. Hamilton tears it down.
Good force out by Covington there.
And this is where you need a good possession, although Hamilton will take it right to the rack.
Those points count too.
Hey, they all add up, and time's ticking. 7:18 and rolling in the fourth quarter. 15-point lead, and Dan Brown wants time.
All right.
Want to thank our sponsor, Moses Incorporated, MOSESS, 511 North Broadway in Georgetown. You can reach them at 502-868-0761. Your complete outdoor power equipment solutions, small engine repairs, lawnmower service, financing available.
We also want to thank our sponsors, Central Bank, Burger King. I can't read them all, Cal.
Scott County Physical Therapy, Greens Toyota of Lexington, Georgetown Community Hospital, Galvin's on Main. You mentioned Burger King. Those are all the Scott County corporate sponsors. United Bank in there as well, if you didn't mention them, and Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance.
They're big on commitment, folks.
7:14 to play, 15-point lead. Sounds safe, but this is a crazy rivalry.
Yeah, it was 10, then it was 15, and it only took 44 seconds.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
both teams capable of scoring in bunches.
Covington with his first 3 of the second half with 31 points. It's just special. It's
Yeah.
It's going to be the word I say a lot.
That ties a career high of 31 points. He had 31 points down in South Carolina. I can't remember if it was the Cox Mill game or the North Little Rock game. I think it was the Cox Mill game where Michael Marino got injured.
62-47.
So his next basket will put him over that.
Blue Devils.
Keyston Brown, drive and dish, a blind pass at that, and an even blinder shot. Covington comes down with a rebound, gets tripped up, and draws the 6th team foul on Henry Clay. So after this, the Cards are in the bonus. 6:55 to go. I think that puts Henry Clay up against it for sure.
Yeah, it was just a bang play down there.
I think they're getting a little bit rash
chippy.
and desperate here.
A little chippy.
And this is where Scott County, if they're not careful, they could rip it open. As Stewart hits a 3, if he heats up, it's over. It might be over anyway. 18-point lead. Now they're going to step up the pressure, and Henry Clay will get a time. They weren't ready for whatever Scott County threw at them there with the full court press. That's 6 for Diablo Stewart. I may be off with my prediction that he'd get 20 in the second half, but I bet he's going to end up in double digits with the free throw situation.
Yeah, he'll have the ball in his hand.
They'll have to put him at the line.
And I mean, there really isn't a good Scott County player to foul. I'm looking at 67% for Fluker, 71% for Long, 79% for Stewart, 83% for Hamilton, 89% for Covington, and Lorenzo Williams at 72. The worst free throw shooter is Cam Fluker, but that's not a bad percentage for a high school kid.
I walk in here in this gym more days than not during the week, and without fail, I see this team practicing free throws at some point during practice. And it's a lost art, but not for this program. Henry Clay will draw the quick foul, but only the 3rd of the half for the Cardinals and only the 2nd of the game for Stewart. 6:33 to play. Henry Clay's got to get some points in a hurry, and they're kind of playing like it. Look like their hair's on fire right now.
Marquise Work has been quiet tonight for a guy.
Yeah, they've held him to 15.
Zoe had the ball.
Make it 7. Oh, I gave it to him too quickly. Hawkins with the rebound, partially blocked at least by Hamilton. Stewart gets the rebound. I'm so used to seeing Warwick when he does get open, knock that shot down. Stewart into traffic, draws the contact, and like we said, he's going to spend a lot of time at the charity stripe.
That is a bonus time for the Cardinals, 17 foul.
That's 4 fouls on Raymond Jackson.
Yeah, I guess 15 points at this point is not bad. He's on track for his average, but doesn't feel like he's taking over the game by any stretch of the imagination.
No, he's got such a sweet-looking jump shot that you got to, if you're Henry Clay, you got to find ways to get him open more. And Stewart just, I don't want to say he doesn't miss the line, but he doesn't miss much. Chance to push the lead to 20 here with 6:08 to play. And he does. 8 points just like that, all in the second half.
Not the best shooting night, but he's going to get double digits.
This is a huge, assuming they hold on here, all signs are looking good right now. Huge win for Scott County and confidence-wise.
Let's not count that yet.
I said if they hold. I just think at this point you're going to get to the line repeatedly,
so
and I don't think Henry Clay can stop you at that point. I think in a different situation that wouldn't look safe, but I think this team came in here as the other hottest team in the region and beat Trinity, beat Madison Central on the road, did a lot of things that Scott County had done. And I think a lot of people were maybe saying this was a spot, and I think maybe Scott County tuned into that a little bit.
Absolutely, 67-49.
because even on a night where a couple of guys haven't had their best night, there has been a certain chip on the shoulder.
You do have a way of predicting the future with the fouls on Diablo Stewart.
It's almost like I've seen this team play 25 times. It's crazy. But, yeah, I mean, you know, whenever the last timeout was, Billy said, the ball needs to be in your hands. I mean, there are other good free throw shooters on this team, but the closest thing to automatic at the end of the game is Diablo Stewart. The one time this year it didn't happen, they lost to Westchester, and he missed one there. But when he has his legs,
I think that's going to be on the floor.
yeah, and that's only the fifth. It is Glenn Covington's third foul with 5:42 to play, 68-49. Cardinals lead. If you're Henry Clay, you need threes or you need quick baskets. And that's a quick basket that didn't fall for Brown as Hamilton, and he's done a great job of the boards here in the second half.
Yeah, nice
Call out to
rebound
him.
there.
That's been a key. Long wanted to take that shot. Why, I don't know. And Stewart will, discretion the better part of valor, get the ball.
Cardinals in no hurry here. You're up 18.
Nor should they be. A little bit of a lazy pass there from Covington, or a little bit of a hurried pass. Anticipated where Stewart was going to be. Fortunately, it worked out.
That's going to be on the floor, but he'll get
To the
one
line,
bonus out of
and
there.
yeah, I was going to say, and this is the next one will be two. It's two from here on out after this. Young Mr. Stewart, for all his struggles from the field tonight, about to hit double digits. He would be the third Cardinal in that category, joining Covington. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just not going to say anything. Fluker checking into the game.
Nice pass.
Probably for Stewart. And the whistle blew before that. No continuation there. Yes, I think he thinks Stewart. And, you know, he was sick all last week. And
I'm still sick. You know,
it takes a while. I mean, his was a stomach thing, but it takes a while to replenish everything. As Brown drives for an easy hoop. And that's smart by Scott County, not foul there. Just give him the two. You're up 17. Hamilton might have gotten away with a walk.
Did get away with a walk.
And he's got 10 points. So he's in double figures. He's the third guy in that category.
Long as yet to miss.
Keaston Brown off balance three, but he'll hit it. He's not shy. 17 points for young Mr.
He's
Brown.
under 30% from three.
He's got a little
looked
bit of
pretty
the
good
genetic
tonight.
code you were
Yeah.
saying about dear old dad over there, can fire from anywhere.
Oh, Daniel Brown could hit from way downtown. He's like he's one of those guys that they get to the Toyota Classic and they're open.
Glenn Covington going to get a chance to pad his numbers here.
This will be a career high. if
You
he
know,
makes
see,
one.
I was going to be the guy not to say it,
If he hits.
which he did. 32 points, career high for Glenn Covington.
Shout out to Prep Spin, who has chimed in. Doubt Henry Clay came into this game with their best game. It would be wise to give their best during the district championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good advice if you can pull it off.
I mean, I don't think anybody's assuming anything about the district or the region. This team is dangerous, very talented. And it's going to be neutral court. It's not going to be a neutral court at the district, I should say. It'll be at Henry Clay. And certainly that was a factor in the regular season game over there.
So 4 minutes to go in the game, 72-54.
Taryn
Nice
Hamilton, I just love the aggressiveness from Hamilton the second half, both on the defensive backboards and taking the ball to the hoop. And that's something that this team will need going forward into February and March.
Yeah, they just need one more big guy.
And he's it. I mean, I'll be honest. I think Michael Marino will probably come back. At what percentage, who's to say? And whatever game you're still going to need, whatever game you're getting now out of Taryn Hamilton. Then I think it's going to be as much an emotional lift as a physical one, if and when that happens. 20-point lead. I don't think I saw this coming tonight.
No, this is a surprise.
And you got to attribute it to Glenn Covington going absolutely bonkers in the first half, but
Hamilton
still a good all around. Yeah, Hamilton with another board, and Fluker will slow it down. The senior playing smartly out there.
Yeah, you take Covington out of this game. And
Hamilton turnaround, free throw line jumper, no good. And Henry Clay will step out of bounds before he can draw the contact on Fluker.
There are going to be some Henry Clay fans that say the refs were not real fair tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
It all comes out in the wash.
I don't know. I think there were some Scott County fans that could have said that the first time around. So.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's part of home court advantage. It's the same, probably the same refs. Hamilton, he's the one on fire in the second half. He's got 10 of his 14. 22-point lead.
Coming into his own tonight.
The number 1 team in the state and the number 12 team in the country making a statement. Mackey gets the basket there to get it back to 20. Covington picks up his dribble, gets it to Hamilton. That's a smart move right now. Driving dish to Harris. Hamilton with a tip in. Stick back, tip back for Hamilton. 10 in the fourth quarter, 16 overall.
Can't be stopped right now.
Nope. And he's the guy that when he plays with that kind of confidence, he's as good as anyone.
Not much there. Looked like a lot of ball.
First foul on Taryn tonight.
So we're under 3 minutes with a 22-point lead.
Henry Clay, Eli Wren checking back into the game. Maybe a sign that the white flag is about to be waved, although he's been in a couple of times in foul situations for the Blue Devils tonight.
Mackey, touch under 70%. No, touch over 70%.
They haven't gotten much out of him tonight. They've gotten precious little out of Harris Hawkins, only 6 points. He had that three-pointer at the buzzer in the third period. But it's had to be Brown and Warwick carrying the load for the Devils. And as you said, it's been a quiet 15 for
Well, Harris
Marcus
Hawkins is their
Warwick.
second leading scorer. He shoots 58%.
He's got 6 tonight.
Pulls down 9 boards a game, so he's an important part of their team.
And I would argue that he was the big reason Henry Clay dominated the first half the first time they played this year. Fluker and 1. And he'll have a chance to get into double figures.
Yeah, I think Brown is waving the flag. He's sitting down right now.
Stewart going to check back into the game, and yep. He will get a chance to go to the line a few times. Although if Henry Clay's smart, don't foul him. You just cut your losses. I mean, I think Billy would love to be able to coast the last couple of minutes. He's got Walton Verona tomorrow night over at Lafayette. That's not going to be anything to sneeze at. Cam Fluker with 10 points. He's just such a consistent 6, 8, 10-point guy. Brings that energy off the bench. That kind of player that glue player that every championship team needs to have. In and out rebound by Harris. Covington gets it away to Stewart. Will draw the foul on Warwick. So long as 13. Hamilton has 16. Covington has 33. Fluker has 10. That's 4 in double figures. Can Diablo Stewart join them? He'll have 2 chances, and he won't need them both. He'll make that one to give himself 10 points. He'll get another one anyway. It's 82-60 with 2:12 remaining.
I expect the coach will clear the bench anytime soon now.
Scott County with a statement win. No question. Yes, it's on their home court, but it's against a team that had clawed its way up into the upper second 5 at the very least in Kentucky. Long pass to Harris, who will cash in. 85-60.
Nice look there.
Beautiful pass. Warwick trapped, gets the ball to Hersey. Hersey started this game for defensive purposes. He'll get himself a basket there to get into the offensive flow, but much too late. Stewart picks up the dribble, tries to draw the contact, gets it over to Long. Long will kill time. He'll
Trapped.
find Fluker. Fluker will get fouled intentionally, and that'll be 2 end the ball. And this ref's not messing around. It's almost like he wanted to call that. I mean, usually you have to do something pretty egregious to get that call. And he's explaining himself to Coach Brown.
I don't know if I would call it explaining himself. Coach Brown basically screamed at him to come over there.
Defending himself.
I guess, yeah, something. I'm not sure.
And he's giving a long leash to Coach Brown.
Yeah.
Giving him just enough rope to lasso himself.
Now, I have them at 86.
Yeah, Fluker just made that, right?
Yeah, he did.
Then that's 86. I heard the fans applaud as Bryce Long checks out. That'll probably be it for him, 13 points on the night.
No misses. I don't know why
Fluker
I'm obsessed with that, but
missed the second. Well, it's a perfect night is nothing to sneeze at. 5 for 5 from the field. I think we're missing a point on the scoreboard there.
yeah, I'm leaving it at 86.
I'm leaving it at 86. I didn't see with my own 4 eyes Cam Fluker make that, but I heard the crowd respond. So you say it happened, it happened. Elias Richardson, KJ Tucker, Michael McKenzie all checking into the game. And Henry Clay subs in as well. This one's over, folks.
Yep. 86-62 by our count. 1:24 to go here in the game, and subs will hit the floor. What a game for Covington. Quiet in the second half, but
You
still,
said special.
Yep,
That's the
a
word.
really special night for him.
Cam Fluker had a chance to get 2 the easy way. He was trying to get him the hard way there. Barber had a second chance, no good. Rebound comes down to Marquise Mackey. He gets the ball to Hersey. Under a minute. Hersey with the drive and dish. Wild pass from Wren. Time ticking away.
Tick, tick. This is the first game I think we've called, Cal, that does not have a running clock.
Yeah, I sold this as the best game that we're going to have so far, and I think it was by definition. Maybe the Scott County Manual girls game. I don't think that got to running up, but this is the first boys game that's been remotely competitive. This was a 10-point game after 3 quarters, but it felt all night like Scott County was due to make a getaway.
Agreed. It's just when you have a trap and you get more of the ball and you do those things to really dominate the ball, it's tough to win against that. Now,
I think
Clay
Scott
is
County just
pressing
has.
here.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're young kids, so I guess you want them to do what you have them do in the JV game or whatever. I don't. Yeah, both teams have their subs in there. As far as I'm concerned, go for it. Barber gets hacked. He'll go to the line, get a chance to pad what we think is an 86-64 lead.
Yeah.
We're pretty confident. It doesn't matter
I feel
at this
good
point.
about that. 86-64.
Point differential doesn't matter. There's not going to be a tiebreaker. There's not going to be a coin flip. Scott County will be the top seed in the 42nd District playoffs. Unfortunately for them, they'll have to play it at Henry Clay. But it's a theoretically easier first-round draw. You'll play the winner of
Scott County just needs to get to the region.
Yeah, well, and you've got to beat Sayre, Frederick Douglass, or Bryan Station to do that, which they will. And then go from there. I mean, you want to be a top seed in the region. You don't want to go in as the 2 seed.
Correct.
Just an easier draw. But things are going to be, I believe, the first round of the region will be here. So there will be a home game in the playoffs because of a conflict at Alumni Coliseum. Last time they had a conflict at Alumni Coliseum, the conflict won out. But this time the school wins out, I guess. And that was why Eastern played at Georgetown College the other night.
Well, they've already done that once this year, so I don't think they wanted to do it again.
Either 87 or 88-66 will be your final.
I've got it at 88.
Scott County moves to 24-1 on the season. We'll get the official stats from Tom Hendricks momentarily. I'll give you some scoring. We'll go in inverse order. Jalen Barber with 2, Kobe Harris with 2, Cam Fluker with, we think, 11, Diablo Stewart with 11, Bryce Long with 13, Taryn Hamilton with 16, Glenn Covington, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 33 points, 7 3-pointers, career high on both counts for him. For Henry Clay, great night defensively for the Cardinals on Marcus Warwick. They held him to 15 points. Keaston Brown led the Blue Devils with 17. 9 for White, 8 for Mackey, 4 for Jackson, 6 for Harris Hawkins. That was the real defensive effort. Glenn Covington meeting the press. And he's going to have to talk to me later on because I'm busy talking on TV. But
yeah, Coach Hicks, I guess, passing those duties off.
Yeah, well, you know, it'll be busy enough for him when he gets down, gets out of the locker room. He's having a word with his star pupil, Michael Marino. All smiles and all hugs there.
I guess if you want to see this game on late night on the news tonight, you got your choice. 18, 27, 36.
I would say they were all here. Another newspaper that will remain nameless, but my good friend Josh Moore is here as well.
And Cal Oaks is here.
Yeah, Cal Oaks is here. Speaking of himself in the third person. Wow. I'm almost speechless. I don't know what to say here. 87 to 66, they run the board, so we'll say it's that.
88-66.
Yeah, we're going to go with that.
So we're awaiting stats. We should have those any moment, and we will bring them to you as soon as we get them.
I didn't even tweet the final score yet. That's kind of an unusual thing for me.
Cal's a Twitter
I didn't really know what the final score was, so I didn't want to tweet it.
I'm going with 88.
I am. 88-60. Plus that, you know, it's like, you know, two pair. 88-66.
There you go. We're still awaiting stats.
Saying goodbye to our friend Steve McLean over here.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about the crowd tonight. What a good crowd.
Great crowd. I think the students, they were bribed with pizza and T-shirts. They didn't organize like I wish students would these days, but they were here, and that's what matters. I mean, they're not here often enough, in my experience. I hear they used to be, and I've heard all kinds of explanations for why they no longer do, but
all right. I'm going to go get stats. Cal's going to talk.
Why don't you do? I'm going to talk about what we've seen tonight so far in its entirety here. Scott County with the big 20-point win puts them, as we mentioned, the top seed in the 42nd district. It's going to put them in good stead to get to the 11th region tournament, which I think is probably a foregone conclusion. Certainly pads their status as the #1 team in the state. Certainly reinforces their status as one of the top 12 teams in the country, which they were coming in. Statement considering the nature of the first game, first of all, a 67-59 win at Henry Clay. Statement in terms of what Henry Clay has done for the past month, beating Trinity, winning in overtime at Madison Central. Those were a couple of things that Scott County had done as well, but the scores were so eerily similar that it was easy to think, okay, maybe these two teams are on equal footing. At least for tonight, it didn't seem that way. And even on a night where Henry Clay took away Diablo Stewart for the most part, took away Lorenzo Williams almost completely, other guys were able to step up. Glenn Covington with a career night. Taryn Hamilton really stepped it up in the second half and did what you want a big man to do. And the defensive effort on Warwick and Hawkins was special all the way around. Here are your stats. They're going to say 87-66.
They're wrong.
I'm going to argue. That's all right. 33 points for Covington, 16 and 10. Double-double for Hamilton. 8 turnovers for Scott County, 15 for Henry Clay. 52.8% from the field for Scott County, 48.9% for Henry Clay. 17 for 22 from the line were the Cards, 12 for 16 the Devils. 14 for 26 3-point, 10 for 26 for Henry Clay. The stats don't look that disparate, you know, until you think about Covington's 33. And, you know, it piles up in a hurry. The keys to the game, I thought, Covington's points, obviously. Hamilton's work on the boards and his second half, and the defense on Warwick and Hawkins.
Hamilton he took over in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was a 10-point game at the end of the third, and then all of a sudden it was a 22-point game. I think that shows what this team has become without Michael Marino. They've shown the ability to close out games without a star player.
Yeah.
And different guys stepping into, I mean, we Covington, he didn't just carry them, he was the team in the first half.
I think what they've shown is they have a lot of star players, and I think they are starting to figure it out as a collective unit. And I don't think, I think some people who aren't familiar with the team might say, how will it affect that chemistry when Michael comes back? And I think it can only help. I just think he provides such a personality there that will be special coming down the stretch.
This is a very typical Scott County game. 54% from three, 53% overall.
And a bunch of dudes in double figures with that 10 to 15 range if you take Covington out of there. So.
Yeah, I do want to go back to Bryce Long, 13 points. 5 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 3 of 3, or 2 of 2 from 2, 3 of 3 from 3 for 13 points, no turnovers. Just 2 rebounds, but he's not a down low player. Cam Fluker had 3 steals, which is a nice night to go along with 10 points. Diablo only went 2 for 9 and only 2 for 7 from 3, but he did manage to close out the game there with the free throws at the end, 5 of 7 from the line to get to 11 points. So it was one of those typical.
It was a find a way night for some guys, and it was make a way. In the case of Covington, he made a way for Scott County to get away and put this one away fairly early.
So we are back next Friday.
It'll be a doubleheader. It's going to be a fun night and 2 good games, I think. Clay County, don't sleep on them. They're coming in to play the boys at 6. And then the girls, a top 20 opponent in South Laurel. So a couple of teams coming up from that part of the state. Senior night, at least for the boys. I think it is for both teams.
Right.
So it's going to be kind of an emotional night and should be some good basketball.
So the boys have a game tomorrow, and then we do the doubleheader next Friday, and we're excited to have that. It's been a heck of a season. It's been a special season. We didn't talk too much about it tonight, but it'll be a different team next year. It'll be a couple of different schools.
Some coaches were announced today, including Great Crossing's football coach. So it's starting to get real, as they say.
So we'll wrap it up for tonight. A good win, 80. We're calling it 88. I don't care what they say.
I'm going to go down and look at the actual book.
88-66.
One last shout out to Moses Incorporated, our sponsor. Check them out, 511 North Broadway, 502-868-0761. And also Leader of the Pack, the documentary premieres on Wednesday, February the 13th, 6 p.m. right here, Susan Moore Auditorium at SCHS. Come see it for free. Order copies for your family and friends. It's a keepsake you want to have. You can contact the news graphic for all the information at 502-863-1111.
That'll do it for us, folks. Have a good night. Stay safe. Winter weather next week, and who knows how much school we'll have.